Hello and welcome back to Motorshed. I'm Steve Fox and today we're taking a look at the new Volkswagen Tiguan. Volkswagen's mid-sized SUV. Is it as good as rivals and should you buy one? So we'll start with the interior of this car, and you can see it's pretty smart. Not too fussy, more function over form here. It's black on top of black, but all surfaces feel good to touch and well made.
So in the back here, when you're adjusting the seats, there's a little tab here that allows you to put the seat down. It'll lock into place there, but that's pretty bolt upright. But you can also pull the tab, recline a little bit more, and all seats do that individually. You've got these beautifully appointed seats, but as well as that, you've got these nice tray tables, ideal for your kids' biscuits and crisps.
There are a number of useful cubby holes and storage compartments. First you have the glove box. Not huge, but it does house the CD player and a couple of SD card slots, which I really like. Over here, can you guess what these two grooves are for? Yep, poundage. So you can store coins without them rattling around. So there are 3 more slots like this in the lid. Behind the gear selector you have a small cubby hole that also doubles up as a cup holder. Simple to deploy, a little more fiddly to stow away. I like it though, no wasted space here. The armrest you can open to reveal more storage, and the armrest itself is 5-way adjustable. So just lift it up in stages and it locks into place until you open it fully. Unfortunately, it won't remember where you like it set. There's a net in the passenger footwell and large storage bins in the doors, plenty big enough for a 1.5 litre bottle and a couple of bags of Haribo Super Mix. There's also this discreet storage compartment on top of the dash, felt lined, so you can store those more delicate items. Don't worry, they've not forgotten about your sunglasses, there's storage for those too. At the bottom of the centre console, you not only have a 12-volt socket, but also 2 USB inputs and an auxiliary port, all alongside a useful cubby with a rubber mat. As this is the 4MATIC, you do have the control for the various driving modes here, just to make sure that you have it set up for the ideal conditions. The infotainment system is very responsive, and if you've used any touchscreen at all, then it will be intuitive. There are also shortcut buttons littered all over the dash for more common controls. You don't get a digital dash, but the dials are smart and very clear.
So the Tiguan is available for just under £24,000. This is the SE model, so the 2 litre turbo diesel 4Motion, and it's got the manual gearbox. This model starts at around about £30,000 with a couple of options. I think this one comes in around £32,000 to £33,000. This beast is in Caribbean blue, so that's a £570 option. Personally, I'd stick with the white. There are a lot of new alloy wheel designs with the Tiguan. This one has the 18-inch Patagonia wheel. It's not my favourite. I do love the 20-inch wheel on the R-Line. I believe that's called the Suzuka. Very nice looking wheel. Just really completes this car in my opinion. There is an optional panoramic sliding tilting glass roof, which is incredible and an expensive option, so this car doesn't have it. So, driving the new Tiguan. It's a pretty miserable day today. When I say miserable, I just mean cold. It's currently -1 degree and it's quite windy, so it feels like -26. So it's nice to be in here now with the heating. Comfortable seats. You'll have to excuse the voice. I am recovering from man flu, so pretty big deal. So as per usual from Volkswagen, you get a pretty decent drive. This is a smaller SUV than the popular Touareg. It does feel it as well. It does feel like quite a small car, but it's pretty practical. 5 seats, big boot. So you got about 640 litres in the boot, which can be extended to 1600 or so once you put the back seats down. It's a 2-litre turbo diesel, so it's got a fair amount of poke. There is a 1.5 litre petrol available as well, a little bit less economical. You get about 10 miles to the gallon combined, less in that, so definitely think the diesel model will be the more popular. So you have the option of the automatic gearbox, but this is the manual. The manual is a fair bit cheaper. So for all you caravanners out there, there is an option to get trailer assist added to this car, whereby you just input the angle that you want into the car's infotainment system and it will do the steering for you, so saves making a tit of yourself in the caravan park. There are several options you can add to this car, including the heads-up display. So for those that are paranoid when approaching a speed camera, it displays all of the useful information that you need about your speed and the speed of the road that you're on, to stop you from getting points on your licence or crashing into something as you're glued to your speedometer. This car can also come with park assist. Never has it been easier to park a car as with a lot of cars these days, but this also has the option for 12 views around the car, so you can see where all your extremities are, so if you're in a tight car park, not going to be an issue to get out. So the most efficient model in the range is the Tiguan S. That comes in at 58.9 miles to the gallon combined, which is pretty good for what is not the smallest of cars. The petrol, the 1.5, that will come in around about 49 miles to the gallon combined, so you do lose a bit there. It's probably worth getting the diesel. And 0 to 60 time on this, if you're interested, is 9.3 seconds, and it'll top out at around about 125 miles an hour. So this sort of car isn't really for performance, is it? It's about getting your family from A to B, and it seems to do that pretty well. So with every car manufacturer under the sun now producing an SUV, and in many cases multiple SUVs, this car does have a fair amount of competition. So main rivals include the Skoda Kodiaq, cheaper, the BMW X1, the Audi CX-5 and the Volvo XC40, all more expensive. And then there's a Peugeot 3008, which is more French. I suspect this car's main rival, if you're talking about price and equipment, would be the Mazda CX-5, which I've driven recently. You can click the link to that at the end of this video if you're interested in seeing what that's like. I did really rave about that car, so it'll be interesting to see how this stacks up against that. I think so far I can say that the interior is probably a little teensy bit better in this. I think the infotainment system works better. It's very intuitive, it's quicker. So who is this car for? If you think about the car market now, it's really complicated compared to what it used to be. You know, you used to get your small hatchback, you got your saloon, you got your estate, and you got a 4x4. That was it. But now you've got all these crossovers and you've got these in-betweeny sort of cars. Sometimes it's difficult to know what car is right for you. But this car, I guess, appeals to small families, somebody that's perhaps coming up from a hatchback and you don't want to move into something quite as big as a Touareg. So this is just a bit smaller. So you're higher up, so you feel you're in something a bit more significant, but it hasn't got that extra width or length. It's not quite as big, but it's still a very practical car. You can get 5 people in comfort, and there's loads of boot space. Handling wise, it feels really good. I don't really want to push it too much today because it is below freezing, and I don't want to take the risk of hitting some black ice or anything, so I'm being quite cautious with it today. So my conclusion then, would I buy the Tiguan? Yes. Would I buy the SE? No. I would probably pay that extra £3,000 and go for the R-Line, mainly because of the way the car looks. You've got all the black plastic on anything lower than the SEL, I think. I'm not a huge fan of it. I prefer the body coloured lower bumpers and the larger alloy wheels. I just think it makes the car look a lot better. It means it's able to mix it with the likes of the BMWs, Audis and Mercedes that all your neighbours have got, so you don't look like a cheap town. Is it better than the Mazda CX-5? No, but it's on a par. There's no real reason to buy one over the other. It would just come down to personal preference, maybe brand loyalty or aesthetics really. There's not much to separate them in terms of looks. I personally prefer the look of the Mazda a bit more. However, if you're comparing the R-Line to the CX-5, I would probably go with the Tiguan R-Line. The interior in here is definitely better. These seats, they look really nice with a quilted look. The infotainment system is fantastic. It's a fairly premium feeling car. I think it's got the edge on the CX-5 very slightly there. So that's about it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell. It will make me happy. Until next time, bye bye.